Boldly taking talk radio where it has never gone before. New vistas, new voices, new views, new visions, new victories. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we're taking public media black.
Damn. I mean, I just keep thinking about you. I mean, I want to move on, but I can't move on. It's like you got some kind of hold on me. I mean, I don't know. But I'm gonna go ahead and talk about it. Listen. I'm sitting looking out the window like damn, trying to fix the situation that's at hand. You're still running through my mind when I'm knowing that you shouldn't be. Me all on your mind, and I'm knowing that it couldn't be. Cause you ain't called, I ain't even appalled. I still got a lot of pain, I ain't dealt with it all. I've been running around with other chicks, I'm single and they loving it. I'm liking it, but I just want the one that I was in love with. That's not the end of it, I'm trying to let you go. I can't get a grip of it, is what I'm trying to let you know. You got a hold of some kind of control of me. I don't know what it is, but I gotta get you going for me. I'm working at it and it ain't getting no better.
Shout out to Bow Weezy.
Like, yeah, forget it, whatever. Instead
you know,
of this glass, looking at this bad,
he does a lot on social media sometimes, but I think it was you. Look, there is no denying that Bow Wow did a thing. Bow Wow did a thing, and anybody that really tries to take away from him is unserious, right? I mean, Bow Wow had charisma out the gate. I don't know if you remember when he was like 6 or 7 years old. I think it was on Arsenio Hall show performing with Death Row. We obviously saw him in the Gin and Juice video, jumping on the couch, being the bad little kid. And I mean, when he dropped with Jermaine Dupri, obviously working with kids, Jermaine Dupri had something special. You know, I mean, started with Crisscross, continued with Bow, right? He knows what he's doing with that. And Bow Wow obviously had a lot of talent. Like, you could just, there are some things that, honestly, as far as charisma, like just little things that are hard to teach. Some can learn them, but I mean, you see people that just had it, you know? And there's all these different definitions of what it is, whether it's just charisma, star power, talent. It's all of those things and more. Raven Simone's someone that had it, you know? I mean, it's a thing. And these are young when they started. Raven was 3, obviously Bow was 6. And so we're going to get into, do you think that, of course we agree, of course we think this, artist development needs to come back in music. Of course it does. But can it? I guess that is really the question. Can it? Are we too far gone because of the internet and the freedom and the looseness and the way that, though harder, seemingly acts that don't have the polish maybe that we're looking for still seem to be taken over? Andy?
Does Bow Wow have a music label?
Well, I'm gonna read his comments and what he says. Bow Wow, no, and I wouldn't suggest signing to Bow Wow.
Okay, fair enough. But you know, if he's gonna make a statement like that, I think he should at least lead the charge, and at least with the artists coming up today, to at least push forward.
But do you think he not like gave advice to people, maybe on the low, maybe not in a whole out, mentor, advisor capacity? Because I think the thing is too, like, are people going to respect Bow Wow if he tries to do it?
I mean, look what he's accomplished.
Right,
Why not?
But look what he's accomplished. But we also had the Bow Wow challenge where he was posting stock photos of fake planes and things like that. So, there are aspects that seem totally clout chasing and unserious. So, it's kind of difficult. Social media got people tripping. See, you can't even have an answer for that, right?
There's no response to that, but I mean, he's still Bow Wow. He still accomplished some things, and I think, his experience is value enough.
It is. So this is what he said. He said, can we please bring back artist development at these labels? Do these labels even care about these artists? Y'all be throwing them on platforms knowing they're not ready. A boxer is trained and taught before battle. We just keep throwing these subpar artists out here with no proper teaching. There's more. He also said, it's too many real ones out here on the come up, like Simba, Westside Boogie. I can name so many more. Lady London, Lola, like new artists that got it, who deserve the push. But instead, man, I'm done speaking on it. Haha, stuff has getting me hot. Stop pushing that BS on us. The fans are waking up and hip hop is about to change for the better. Stay in the house if you're playing and move over and let the real ones play. He also said, they can't talk. I don't understand what the F they say. Be dry as hell in interviews. Y'all know I take the stage serious. I don't even want to get on they stage presence. Rapping over vocals, stuff is sloppy. We got to clean this up. Get better or get out the way. You rolling, Andy, why? Give it up to Bow Weezy. He said it all. He said it all.
Oh, he definitely said it all. I mean, enough said. Mic drop.
Mic drop. I mean, but he didn't come with any solutions. I'm not saying he had to. I'm just pointing it out because you asked the question, is he starting a label, some type of thing?
Okay, yeah. I mean, I feel like the solutions is right there in the statement. Just
care.
Care a little bit more about the art, Maybe they need to take a class of just the history of music and have a an appreciation for it. Like I've said time and time again, these cats, it's a hustle for them.
Yeah.
You feel me? So they don't necessarily care about, the artistry. I know you talk a lot about, the sequencing of music and stuff like that. They don't care about that.
They don't think about any of that.
You know what I mean?
The girlies aren't running on the treadmill singing their lyrics anymore, getting that Joe Jackson treatment. You should not be out of breath in your performances early on in your career. I saw Mariah the Scientist was on Big Boy's Neighborhood, and she talked about how her first show was Rolling Loud stage, right? That's a huge festival. How is that your first live performance ever? How does that happen? Like, I don't want to take anything away from people. I don't want to begrudge them the opportunity, but I do think that there's something to be said about putting in that work to deliver a quality show.
Rolling Loud it's a huge platform, but if I'm not mistaken, there's several stages, and you do have the stage for the up and coming artists, the no-name artists. So I don't look at it that bad.
Here's the thing, but even with that, if you're getting a look at this huge festival, right? Nothing makes you feel like, dang, I want to be on point. Like, where's the personal sense of pride and accountability? That's what I don't get. I remember back in the day when I had a talent show, we were practicing after school all day, every day. We wanted to be tight.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I'm with you.
No real output on our part. I mean, we had our little routine, but we wanted to be in sync, tight, and ready to go. When we come forward, we'll have more on this topic and, of course, more trending topics and headlines. You are locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Trending topics and the hottest happenings. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Tired of being locked out of job opportunities and shut down by systemic racism? KBLA stands with you in fighting for the rights of black workers, and we don't black down. The Los Angeles Black Workers Center is a dynamic alliance of workers, organized labor, community-based organizations, clergy, students, and scholars, working collectively to improve the position of the black working class. The LA Black Workers Center takes a comprehensive approach to addressing the black jobs crisis. Their programs promote access to quality jobs, racial equity in hiring and retention, discrimination-free job sites, and they prepare black workers for employment in high-wage, career-track jobs. The Black Workers Center supports workers who need help protecting their rights on the job. They give workers access to quality jobs and remove systemic barriers to employment. To sign up for free career readiness training, get involved in organizing around anti-discrimination, learn about union apprenticeship programs, or sign on to a trade registry, please visit www.lablackworkerscenter.org. That's lablackworkerscenter.org. Together, we can beat the black jobs crisis. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. So minivans, sedans, JDMs, roll out. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. And with eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
The rent is too damn high. KBLA joins you in calling for affordable housing. The LA Tenants Union is a diverse, tenant-led movement fighting for the human right to housing for all. The LA Tenants Union demands safe, affordable housing and union rent control. They organize against landlord harassment, mass evictions, and displacement, and mobilize for the repeal of the Ellis Act and Costa-Hawkins Act. The LA Tenants Union is on a mission to strengthen tenants' political power through education, advocacy, and direct action. To get help with your eviction or other landlord-tenant issues, take action for justice, or become a member, visit latenantsunion.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Keeping you informed, entertained, and always ahead of the curve. This is RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You were locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. You know, we are in hour 3, but I have to take it back to a topic that I started to go into in hour 1 and didn't quite finish up, just because it connects to something else we're going to talk about in a way. Kevin Porter Jr. Not in the way that you think, just it's sports related and we're talking hoops. But I mentioned, we're seeing a change as far as high school basketball. Obviously, NIL taking off big. But, 20 years ago, the biggest schools that you would hear about, the biggest games, they were public schools, right? They weren't necessarily these private academies. And now, seems like things have changed, and the schools that we're focusing on are all private schools, right? Now, granted, they can go and get the player that was the top player, a la All-American. I know that's football, and I know that West Beverly was 90210. Whatever the Beverly school was that he went to wasn't a private school, but same concept kind of applies. We are seeing a changing of the guard. And in that, we're also seeing more nepotism as far as the next level of players. We're talking more and more about the sons, the children of professional athletes, especially when we're talking about NBA right now. There are several players that are probably somewhere in the top 25, top 50 that are, the children of famous people. We just saw the other day that Cayenne Anthony had a visit to Florida State. Those are the Seminoles, with his parents. He's looking at that. Bryce, which is the younger son of LeBron James, he went for a visit at Ohio State. Jace Richardson, who is Jason Richardson, formerly of the Golden State Warriors. And where else did Jay Rich play? He played the 76ers. Can't remember where Jay Rich played, but we know he was with the Warriors, dunk champion, did a lot of things. He did his thug thizzle. His son just announced that he's going to his dad's alma mater, Michigan State University. Go Spartans. And shout out to Jace's mom, Jackie. She is a friend. Well, the couple's a friend, but she actually is the one who coaches her son. She coached him all through high school in his AAU thing and stuff like that. She wanted to make sure that he and his younger brother, Jax, kept their academic side and still played other sports while they dialed into basketball. And so she kind of, kept him a guarded secret to a degree, just to make sure that he had somewhat of a normal childhood. And now, it seems to be breaking out, paying off, and he's breaking out. You also have Carlos Boozer's twins. They are heavily touted. People are looking at them, trying to see where they're headed as far as next season. Do we feel like this is a good, I like it. I'm not mad. Of course, we're interested in seeing what happens with professional players and their offspring, and we want to watch them and see where they go. But again, I just ask, is it too much pressure on them? Is it unrealistic? Because when you look at the players that are children of players that have succeeded most recently in the league, like you look at a Steph Curry, right? Dell was not a superstar, right? Solid player, had a solid long career, but not a superstar. Klay Thompson, his dad Michael, solid player. Did Michael have a year here where he was a super high star? I don't know. He wasn't Magic. I don't think he was worthy either. That's no shade. It's no shade in that, just so we're clear. But the players that we see achieving, the ones that are making it big, you look at like Tim Hardaway Jr., stuff like that. Their dads weren't necessarily the guy, right? You look at somebody like Dwayne Wade and his son Zaire. Zaire had problems at Sierra Canyon. Not problems. He was injured, but didn't work out as well for him as it has for other people, right? Scottie Pippen Jr. was on the Lakers, just got waived the other day. Kenyon Martin Jr., he was in Houston. He's now with the Clippers. Welcome home. So I just wonder, do we see Jordan's son? We never really thought much was going to happen with them, hoops-wise. And we were sad about it. That's a lot of pressure, right? And we see how Marcus has responded to not living up to your ideal basketball thing. But, Shaq's son, he had a heart condition, so that obviously derailed him slightly. But Shakir, the younger one, is it too much pressure for the children of superstars to really be able to develop in the way that, obviously the potential's there, but is it realistic, especially in this era? Andy, you got something.
Anything is possible.
Anything is possible, of course.
But what did you say about Tim Hardaway, though?
Tim Hardaway was definitely a star. We think about him in those Nike commercials. I got skills on the black top. What is it? The Air Raids that he wore? Is that it? The gray and black ones,
Man,
whatever.
You remember the names of them? I'm about to Google them now. Air Raids.
I think that's it. They were black. Let me tell you why. Don't be that impressed.
Story time with Jill.
It's always story time. Once a week we got a couple. But no. The reason why is because just when they re-released them. I was working at Nike at the time. That's the only reason why I believe that. It's not because I was just that. I remember that what was it? Yeah, the Air Raids. I believe that's what Tim Hardaway wore those. Let me see.
You're correct. The Air Raids.
Okay.
These are wow.
Huh?
I want them.
You remember those?
I do remember these.
They were fire, right?
I want them.
So
that's crazy.
That's why I remember the name, because of the reissue. But Tim Hardaway was obviously a star in Nike commercial and things like that. But if you look at the guys, the top guys, their children don't necessarily fare as well. Do we think that is because there's too much light on them and they're not allowed to develop in the same way maybe someone that's a little, not as well known could be? Because it seems like a lot of expectation is being thrust upon some of them early, but the guys whose dads weren't the guy, at least initially, there aren't expectations like that. Like Gilbert Arenas' son and daughter lighten it up, and they are like him, like eat, sleep, basketball, hoop. I'm getting up early. I'm doing the thing, gym rat, those little intangibles. And though Gilbert made superstar money, and we all know who Gil was, and he ran the league, Gil is still not someone I would consider a superstar player, even though Andy disagrees with me. Even though he made superstar money, and he didn't have a shoe deal.
Stop it.
What?
Stop it.
How far did they go? They never got to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Ask anybody in D.C.
I mean, he was the man in D.C.
He was the man.
Yeah.
Agent Zero dropped
Agent
60
Zero.
on Kobe.
Listen. I'm not taking. Gil Arenas was doing work.
He was kind of like Steph before Steph, kind of sort of.
Really? I mean, he did show range. Hibachi, he was yelling out hibachi on him. You know, it's just that threes, like they were in vogue, they were in fashion, but coaches still were snatching players up off the floor for getting too reckless and taking those, I'm 5 feet behind the 3-point arc line, Gil had other issues. We obviously know that, and I'm not saying that, even just being fun. I'm just saying, his attitude, not in a he got issues way. He probably does, but in a he got issues, ha ha, he's funny, he's gonna class clown you and be an irritant type of way. But you consider Gil a superstar?
100%.
Really?
I mean, what's a superstar to you?
Okay. So there are 4 things that I think.
Wow, she got the breakdown. Break it down.
I do. So 1, the most obvious, your rings, your pedigree, what you do on the court, that counts. Obviously, you can still be a major star without it, but that's why we play the game. So let's not try and be just so dismissive that it doesn't matter. It's not the only thing.
So Damian Lillard is not a superstar?
No.
Based off of that?
Nope.
Wow.
I do not think he is. I think that he is a star.
Okay.
I think that there was a period of time where he was right there on the cusp when it was Lillard time and all of that. And he's had some fire well, I don't know if his footwear has all been fire. But, he's had some looks, but couldn't convert it. So I think rings, I think your contract, if you're making big dollars,
He got that for sure.
He has that. So, like I said, he's in the stratosphere. I just don't consider him there, right? The other 2 things are, subjective. So y'all don't get mad at me. You got to have a bad chick, a bad wifey.
Oh, my.
And you got to have social capital. So those are the 4 things I think make a superstar. And 2 of them are totally subjective, and you could do a lot of things to move around it, But those first 2, you got to fit into there some type of way. Or at least have, a sustained deep playoff run. Dame Lillard, they never made it past the second round. They didn't even make it to the Western Conference. No, they made it to the Western Conference Final 1 time, right? When that series that LaMarcus Aldridge was still playing, and then I think he went out, right? Maybe? I don't know. He was always hurt, so it's hard to say.
Him hitting that game winner on Paul George, and
right, when he stood up
and goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
Does that not make him a superstar? I mean, the memeable pose that he had when he was on the ground and just looking straight at the camera and just that's superstar to me.
I think it was a superstar moment, but he's not a superstar player.
Because he doesn't have a ring. Interesting.
Not just because he doesn't have a ring. Not just because he doesn't have a ring, but I also feel like, although Dame rings bells outside of the NBA arena, he doesn't. You know what I mean? Like, he does, but it's not like, rock with me here, ride with me. In some circles, Kyle Kuzma's gonna get a little more love than Dame.
Oh, so you're saying Kyle Kuzma is a superstar?
No, I'm not saying
he got
that.
A ring.
He has a ring. He has the chick, and something. But no, he's not a superstar. But this is my point.
I appreciate that.
But this is my point. My point in bringing that up is he has some of the dots, and he has a higher raised social profile, so that people, to me, superstars are someone that
transcendent.
Yes, they're transcendent.
That's the word.
Yes, that outside of basketball, people know what they're about a little bit. They may not know, oh, he did this or whatever, but they know that that person is someone that is important to the game.
Household names.
Yes. And for
There's
a period
not
of
that
time,
many then, if that's the case.
it's not. I don't think that there are. I think that there's a star level, and maybe even within the star level, there might be 2 tiers, A and B, right? But I think that that is why I think superstars are rare, and I reserve that for a chosen few. You know, but I do think him, and the more and more I thought about it, him and Greek hooking up, I think that could be very special. Because the Greek is a superstar, but not. He is an unsuperstar star. No. I'll tell you why I say this. Because he is he doesn't play into the icy side of it. He's not my chain,
glitz and glam.
Yeah, he's not giving you that. He's a baller. He's happy to be here. He came from humble beginnings. He's going to make sure his money is right there, and he's chilling. He's not going to be, front row New York Fashion Week. He's not going to be, I'm coming to LA to hit my press run. I'm hitting Jimmy Kimmel, The Tonight. Do you know what I mean? He's not doing that. So
Westbrook is more of a superstar.
Correct.
What about Kawhi Leonard?
Not at all.
Paul George? Negative.
No.
Okay. I see where you're at. For me, I guess I would use the word more of transcendent. You know what I mean? I think, superstars, probably semantics or whatnot.
Yeah.
And I'm with you on the tiers or whatnot. But I think transcendent would probably be the best. And that's reserved for LeBron James.
Yeah.
Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Draymond Green.
Draymond
for all
Green
the wrong reasons.
is a star.
Oh, man.
He's not a superstar.
Okay, Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant is a superstar. He don't got the girl, but
For real? You're adding that element to it. That's crazy.
Because here's the reason why. Because when I think about markability, right, and perhaps this has to do with my past career history, right, I think that there are stars, even superstars within the game, you can say, but transcendent is the perfect word because outside of basketball, if your aunt or your mom is not a basketball fan, do they know who that person is?
I know this is a different arena, but as an example, A$AP Rocky and Nipsey Hussle.
Right.
To your point.
This is a great point. This is a great one. A$AP Rocky is definitely not a superstar. He's a star. He's a superstar to his own thing, but he's not a superstar.
But he got Rihanna, though, is what I'm saying. Now he's elevated. You feel me?
He's much more elevated and on a lot more people's radars. I bet you when he drops his next project, he could have the potential, depending upon what he drops with it. The door is open. He got a lot of leeway, and his baby mama support him. When we come forward, we'll have more trending topics and headlines. You're locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Can I see it later? The fella's telling me just let it go, bad. Believe me, I'm trying, man. I just don't know how. I've been in all the top spots, sleeping with the hot shots, knowing they just want me cause I'm in the top spot. That's not popping, and my brain ain't stopping, thinking who she with or where she going. Is she club hopping? I never had this kind of problem in my life.
Infusing us into fun and entertainment in every episode. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. More when we come forward.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Former President Donald Trump is appealing a gag order that prevents him from verbally attacking others in his January 6th election interference case. The notice doesn't include legal arguments, but his legal team is expected to challenge the order on the grounds of free speech. That comes just a day after Black Judge Tanya Chutkan seemed to side with prosecutors in restricting Trump's language, prohibiting him from speech targeting expected witnesses and court personnel. Heightened security continues in New York City with tensions high because of the war between Israel and Hamas. Mayor Eric Adams says there's no dangerous threats to the city at the moment.
We're going to continue to monitor and keep an eye out, as I've always stated, for the lone wolves who are radicalized in their own homes.
The black mayor says there's no indication there's a substantial increase in attacks on Palestinians after being asked about possible hate crime incidents. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Calling all night owls, Buffalo Wild Wings is open late. Fill up on some tasty apps with an ice cold tall beer starting at $4. Late night food and drinks start at $4 from 10 till close at B-Dubs. Limited time at participating locations. Offers, days, and times may vary. Drink responsibly. Void where prohibited. Tax and fees extra.
Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Follow the leader when the leader. Oh my God. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Some people won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is killing people. It's a powerful opioid, often made illegally and commonly mixed with illicit drugs. It can even be pressed into counterfeit pills that resemble prescription medications. Just 2 milligrams, about the size of a few grains of sand, can potentially be lethal. This isn't an ad to scare you, but it is an ad to make you think twice. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the Ad Council.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
The Green Foundation, key health influencer, empowering our Black communities through action. The Green Foundation advocates for affordable health care, accessibility, and knows the importance of culturally relatable health care. Regardless of income, we believe it is a right for optimum health. The Green Foundation has been at the forefront for 25 years, dedicated solely to promoting prevention through early detection, annual screenings, and nutrition. We know you because we are you. Our hand-holding approach supports you and your family to receive your right to be treated fairly and receiving quality healthcare services. We want you and your family to know COVID-19 was devastating to our families and to our wallet. We can build back better by understanding prevention, wearing your mask, washing your hands, social distancing, and understanding the impact of long COVID. Get the care you deserve. Take advantage of your privileges. Contact us, info@thegreenfoundation.net. info@thegreenfoundation.net.
Do you have both Medi-Cal and Medicare? The new LA Care health plan called LA Care Medicare Plus, HMO DSNP, can help you get the most out of your health plan for $0 premium. LA Care is here to provide Angelenos with access to quality health care at an affordable cost. For $0 premium, you can get full benefits from vision coverage and in-home support services to prescription drug coverage, plus more. Call 855-688-1479. 855-688-1479.
1 in 4 Americans today are living with a disability. I'm one of them. People with disabilities are extremely talented, resilient problem solvers that have so much to offer. And we've got a trusted ally on our side, an organization we can rely on, Easter Seals. Easter Seals is leading the way to full equity, inclusion, and access to healthcare, employment, and education for people with disabilities, families, and communities. That's my Easter seals. Make it yours.
Learn more and get involved at easterseals.com.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. Curating the most compelling stories and delivering them straight to your ears. You're listening to RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yes. Tony. And DJ Quick. You didn't think we could flip it on your ass, huh? Something for the dance floor. In a real way. It's going down like this forever and a day. Ha. Now what you hear is not a drag, cause Mr. DJ Quick got a brand new bag. But first I got a bang bang, a boogie for the boogie to the rhythm of the ghetto-y streets. Check it out now. You trying to give me some 8-ball, but no way. I'd rather have a mimosa with Cristal and OJ. Yeah, just a little something bubbly and tingly to have me walking around naked. But wait a second.
The function's on. Come on, Tony. Listen, I really have to say, as a West Coast born and raised individual, we really were spoiled. We had the best of the best of. Tony got some hits. Like, I feel like we do think about Tony, because, anytime it rains in LA, everybody's like, it never rains in Southern California. They lied to us, forever. But that lay your head on my pillow anniversary, that right there, I really feel like sometimes we forget how hot Tony really was, how many grooves they blessed us with. And think about, they came out in 89, 90. Remember they had the video with Vanessa Williams in it? Tony, make the car go boom, 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 boom. Yeah, like that. Anyway, Baby Doll. I think that was a Baby Doll video. No, that was the Oakland Stroke. That's how that starts off. But there's also Baby Doll, and It Feels Good. So shout out to Tony. I just had to, give that up real quick.
Can I go ahead and say that It Never Rains in Southern California is, if we're talking like athletes, right? Let's say the song was an athlete, right?
Okay.
This athlete is going to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Easy.
LA music.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they're a Bay Area group, but that song, look, again, I frequently will break out my Tony's greatest hits, and then we'll keep it going to Lucy Pearl because, what I'm blanking on his name.
Raphael Sadiq.
There you go. Raphael Sadiq did his thing. Anything, like all the stuff he did with D'Angelo.
Him solo, too.
Yeah. So shout out to Raphael Sadiq. I just thought of something funny. I used to work a place I used to work. I'm not going to say what place.
Story time with Jill Munroe.
It is story time with Jill Munroe a little bit. I'm not going to get too much into this, but he used to date somewhere I used to work. He used to date someone that I worked with. And yeah, never mind. I can't go into the story. It is the after hour, but I can't go into the story. It's not my place to die. I don't have permission, and it's a lot. But yeah. Anyway, it was gonna be funny. Maybe one day. Y'all remind me. I'll see if I can, find out if I can share it. Anyway, before we got into all of this, we were talking about, nepotism with these up and coming athletes and their relation to their famous fathers. And Andy asked me what I thought about Shedeur Sanders and if I think that he is, a superstar. Like, again, we know he's not pro yet. We see it. He's primed and ready to be a superstar. I don't know who his boo is going to be. I know for a minute he was dating Storm Reed, Yes, that counts. I don't know why you guys are acting. Why does it count? It doesn't just count for me. It counts for y'all too. How many people are like LeBron? I remember the other, maybe a couple weeks ago on Instagram, they were like, if you could wake up as your favorite athlete, what is the first thing you're doing? You know how many people posted pictures of Savannah? I mean, we talked about, it adds to the mystique. Here's the thing. If you are at the top of your game, right, you're winning these titles and you're getting this money, it stands to reason that your mate should be of quality too. Hit me.
Allen Iverson.
What about him?
Superstar?
Yes.
Why?
Because he changed the culture. He changed who moved the needle, right? Like that.
He didn't win no ring though.
He didn't win a ring, so it is a slight knock. But
who's his boo thing?
I mean, he has several. No. He had his I'm staying down, Tawana, da 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 da. But what he was stepping through with in the streets, he was showing some things. But here's the thing. In theory, that is why he wouldn't be a superstar. No ring, no other thing. But his social currency score is so high, right? The way that signature shoe sold, he really did change the culture. Think about it. They changed the dress code because of him. They implemented some things as far as what you can participate in. Think about this. Cats were still dunking. Remember the dunk contest where Brent Barry and Kobe Bryant, 96. I think it was it 96 or 97?
Brent Barry's 96, Kobe's 97.
Okay. But Brent Barry was in the 97 dunk contest against Kobe. I feel like because Kobe was dunking to Brandy or something like that. Like it didn't fit, right? It didn't make sense. It didn't look like what a superstar would be doing. And so that social currency aspect can be a big deal because here's the thing. Tim Duncan is a superstar, but he's not. Right? He's not. He is. I'm not in denial. He is, but he's not.
So he's a superstar for the NBA bubble, the NBA fraternity.
Correct.
But when it comes to just entertainment as a whole,
not even the culture, I guess, no, he's not. People respect Tim's game. They may have wanted to model his game, but nobody was saying, I wonder what Tim Duncan is up to on this Friday night. Tim Duncan would be the butt, I mean, he already was, of so many jokes, though, with the tunnel cam, right? Because think about how many different ways, too, these players, like I brought up Kyle Kuzma a little while ago. Think about how he has managed to elevate his profile just from some of the dumb fashion takes, some of the risk that he takes, but also he was here in LA, so that breeds a different type of attention and attraction. And here's the thing. Here's somebody that you probably forgot about, but went through a similar transformation. Jordan Clarkson. Right? When he was in LA, he was dating Kendall Jenner. He was at all the stuff. He all of a sudden became fashion boy. He was doing all these different things. He's in Utah now. Do we talk about him the way that we used to? Not at all. And he's doing better on the court.
He is.
It's just the way it is. Urban Spence, I was going to say the brat, but the jury is out on what people think as far as the brat having, that being AI celebrity, chick. It counts. It counts. I remember, I'm going to tell this real quick before we go forward. So when Jermaine Dupri released his Life of 1472 album, my friends and I went to the album release party. It was at this club called the Knitting Factory in Hollywood. It's called something else now, but it was there, right? And the television museum was underneath. They eventually got rid of it. And so we walked in, and we were really excited because, we knew AI was going to be there. And that was my favorite player. I was like, where's AI at? I'm trying to see him. And so we walk in and we look and we see AI and the brat. And my girl was like, yeah, they're dating. And I was like, no, maybe they're just boys. And she was like, nope. Here's the thing. When I say people are boys, I mean homies. But I say it like, not like, we're friends, but, we're friends with benefits or whatever. I mean like true homies. Like, that's my dog. That's my boy, even if it's a male-female thing. And she was like, nope. And I was like, are you sure? And she was like, if you don't stop, you love Allen Iverson and look at what's in front of you. And yeah, she was right. It's funny because Brad was talking about her time with AI the other day. And it's so funny to hear how he used to trick on her and how she used to come into the hotel and see other women and just sidestep them and whatever. I tell you, the baddest chick becomes the average chick when you're exposed to her too much. Anyway, my statement still stands. Jordan Jordan Clarkson and Kyle Kuzma could have been interchangeable, right? At one point in time, they followed the pack in the draft. One of them does Jordan have a ring too? No, he got traded. He wasn't here for that. Poor baby. He missed out on that. But, he checked some boxes. He got a big contract. Kyle Kuzma got like an $80-90 million contract for a couple years not too long ago. He's still not a superstar, but he's closer in some people's eyes outside of the game than a Dame Lillard. I know that sounds crazy. I know it doesn't make sense, but that's where we are as far as social currency. Shout out to Urban Spinster in the chat. When we come forward, we'll have more trending topics and headlines. You are locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
RSVP with Jill Munroe is your go-to show for staying in the know. More engaging conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
At City National, we listen to you.
I want to expand my business and my legacy.
I want to set up the next generation for success.
I want to see my vision come to life.
I want to feel right at home.
Your goals, passions, vision, future. We want to hear it and work alongside you to achieve it. Visit cnb.com to learn more. City National Bank. Here for our clients and communities.
Boom, 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 boom. Nissan has a car for every driver who wants more. More action. More fun. More guts. More head turns. More adventure. More electric. At Nissan, more is all we do.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Roll Charmin ultra strong when you drop in the beat. It cleans with way less effort on your seat. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Charmin flows extra strong from the road. Your butt hella clean while you're sitting on the bowl. Yeah, it's all you need for that bathroom groove. Get you in and out without nothing to prove.
Charmin Ultra Strong cleans better so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 joins you in standing for education as a right, not a privilege. Charles R. Drew University of Medicine and Science is a private, non-profit, community-founded, student-centered university committed to cultivating diverse health profession leaders who are dedicated to social justice and health equity for underserved populations. CDU does this through outstanding education, clinical service, and community engagement. Recently, Charles Drew University made history by opening only the 5th medical school at an historically black university. Congratulations, South LA, and congratulations to the Dean of the medical school, Dr. Deborah Protho-Stith. CDU is now training doctors and providing $90 million in annual economic benefit to Watts and surrounding neighborhoods. To apply for medical school, get more information, or sign your child up for the Junior Doctors Saturday School program, visit cdrewu.edu. That's cdrewu.edu. At KBLA, we are dedicated to equity in education and ending healthcare apartheid. And we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more captivating conversation on RSVP with Jill Munroe.
You are locked into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580. So we've been talking about, a lot. We've been talking about nepotism. We've been talking about what makes a superstar. I'm curious if anyone wants to chime in what their criteria is for a superstar. Is it just a player that's at the top of their game? Is it just, is that it? Is it just someone that is throwing you down. Like, do you think the average fan knows who Patrick Mahomes is? Thinking about it, Andy?
I mean, like, what's the average fan?
Well, I'm
You
just
know what I
saying
mean?
the average, like, if you, I don't know, you could go to an elementary school and say Patrick Mahomes is coming to visit and the kids would be excited, right?
Maybe a couple kids if they watch football.
See, I mean, but I feel like if you said LeBron James is coming, even if they didn't watch basketball or whatever, they would be excited.
Absolutely.
So-
Transcendent.
Yeah, so that like those are the things that I think, and it's not to take anything away from these people. I just, I think that there has to be a level that we have to establish because everybody's getting the legend, icon, superstar label now, and because things come a little bit easier. Just like people were complaining about how Drake got his number ones to be equivalent with Michael Jackson. Is it the same? No, but technically it is. So, which is it?
Who are some questionable legends, icons?
For me?
Or just, people that, they hold in regards that, oh, he's an icon, and you think like,
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Jeez, caught me off guard with that one. Because generally, I think, I feel like for the most part, people get things right. I mean, I think for the superstar thing, I don't think that there's people that I'm like, oh, I don't get it or I don't understand it. It may not be my pick, but I understand, their audience. I don't think that there's like a misconception. Like, even with Taylor Swift, when people are like, I don't understand why people like Taylor. I've heard a couple of songs that were really good. Do you know what I'm saying? And you cannot discount, if we understand that we want to see people in our own image, right? We want to see reflective of people that look like us. Why do you not think the girl in Middle America does too? Right? She could be Taylor faster than she could be, I don't know. I can't even think of some equivalent right now. Margot Robbie. Which one could they aesthetically more likely get to? Which one's more attainable? Do I think Nipsey is a legend? That's Urban Spinster in the chat. Nipsey's absolutely a legend without question. There's not, I mean, that's not even but there's a couple of things to that. One, legend is not necessarily superstar, right? I think that obviously what happens when you die tragically, right? Or when you're cut off as your ascension is reaching its point, it does add something else to your mystique. You think about somebody like James Dean, who passed away in the 50s. In reality, he didn't do that many films. He was only 25, but he was considered a legend and an icon just because of how he died. I have someone that this is gonna hurt a lot of people's feelings. Y'all don't kill me. Don't be mad at me. It's the after hours, so maybe you'll forget because it's blurry right now. I think that Aaliyah gets much more praise than she probably deserves. And I love Aaliyah. I'm an Aaliyah fan. Obviously, I worked on her last album. I had every album. Really enjoyed her stuff, but I think that people heap too much praise on certain things from that time period because of how she died, because of the tragic situations that introduced her into the music industry. I'm not saying she wasn't an amazing artist. She was definitely a star, but she is not someone I would consider a superstar. And I know at the time she was ahead of Beyonce, but I feel like that separation would have been more apparent. I think Aaliyah probably would have had more success in film, whereas Beyonce did film, but it's not, I mean, obviously Dreamgirls did what it did, but it's obviously not the strongest aspect of her arsenal. I think that Aaliyah would have had a little more success because the truth is, as much as people hate for me to say this, people weren't buying that Aaliyah album, the Red album. They weren't. They weren't locking into it. It's a great album. It was amazing, but it was a little ahead of its time. Andy, you look like you got something to say about my Aaliyah thing. No, you're not feeling it. Nope, you're not touching it. You're not touching it. You're going to stay away from it. Okay. Urban Spinster says, true, death adds a lot of popularity, unfortunately. I mean, even, here's the thing. I love Tupac and Biggie to death. I love them down. I don't know what would have happened. No, they're superstars. I'm not taking nothing away from them. And their talent was there. What I am saying, I'm not saying anything. What I'm saying is that I do think people go extra harder because of the tragic circumstances of their death. They are what they are. I'm not saying anything. They obviously were holding it up. That's not what I'm saying.
I just feel like with Nipsey, the impact that he had at the time, Aaliyah, the impact that she had at the time.
But here's the thing, what impact? Nipsey, I rock with you. Aaliyah, I'm going to push back because I was there. The impact was not there. I just said people weren't buying her album. They weren't checking for it. They weren't.
I think it's more than just albums.
Here's the thing. Well, here's the thing, though. The wave for Aaliyah, and I'm being honest about this, like she had done Romeo Must Die. People were looking forward to whatever she was going to do in The Matrix and the Vampire, Queen of the Damned. But people weren't not checking for her like they were after she passed away.
If the culture, and this may sound like kind of crazy, but who actually went out there to go purchase albums? It wasn't us. You know what I'm saying? And I think us rocked with Aaliyah heavy. You know what I mean? So if we're going to use album sales,
it's not just when I say album sales, I'm talking about because at that time, no, us was in the building. Us was making some things happen, right? They were too, but us was leading the charge. They were following what we directed, okay? And I'm not saying Aaliyah wasn't popular. I'm not saying she wasn't a star. And I'm not saying that we weren't checking for her. We were. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is she wasn't the one. She wasn't. There were other people that there were ahead of Aaliyah at that time.
Who?
Mariah, Janet, Khalees,
Khalees?
Maya. Khalees.
Maya?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They had higher charting singles.
Oh my gosh.
They had higher charting singles. And yeah, I'm just talking about that from the business of it. Like, people loved Aaliyah, but it wasn't. It took on a life of its own because of the tragedy that happened. I mean, it was, the Dame thing, that was good. We were seeing her do the stuff, but I don't know. Urban Spencer says, how do we define legend, though? I had only heard a little of Nipsey before he got with Lauren London. I think, again, it is subjective, and it depends. He's an L.A. legend for sure. What he did and what he put on for his neighborhood, the things that he expounded, those were talking points that weren't common to hear from a rapper at that time. At any rate, thank you for rocking with us, VIPs. We appreciate you. Make sure you are locked in tomorrow for more scintillating conversation and engagement. I appreciate you so much. On the other side, the best of KBLA. Thank you for locking into RSVP with Jill Munroe here on KBLA Talk 1580.
I went out last night. That's when I met a sexy girl. She was looking so right. She said, I wanna take you for a trip